Hey guys, how's it going? This is Patrick and you are trading with Prime. Welcome. Thank you guys for being here. I'm just going to start off by saying if there are values that you guys are getting out of these videos, go ahead and hit the like button. It helps out the channel and we want to get as many people in here to get all this great information if we can help it. Starting out really quick here, so we do see that we have a gap higher in the S&P 500. So I'm going to start off with the SPY and then we'll kind of go from there briefly. And so we saw kind of a gap higher trading over the weekend, which we kind of were looking at this Friday and also Sunday. We kind of suspected that this was going to be the result. We did see some resistance here and it pretty much gapped over it. So I wouldn't be surprised. There's a gap to be filled up here and I'll give you guys the price on that gap here in a second. But I wouldn't be surprised to see SPY either trade sideways or even possibly come back to fill in the gap below. And then, possibly create another range here. But based on the close, we haven't actually closed today. Right now it is 12:55, so we'll be closing here in about 5 minutes. On the Discord, I went ahead and posted a resistant level of 329.70, 329.71, and so far it looks like that resistance level is being held. And the way I found this is I went to just really quick for you guys here, I went to a 1 hour chart. Might have been a 2 hour chart. Either one will work. And what I did is I went back in time here. And if I zoom back here and I start to really look at this area right here, and you can kind of see, I'll open this up just a little bit so you can see the reactions here. Now we do have a gap fill. The price on the gap fill is, I believe this day, closing price 333.49. That's roughly around where the gap fill is. And so what I was kind of looking at here is we had a lot of reactions. So the way I was able to find these two other resistant levels, one is at 329.71 and the other one is at 331.20. And so what I did is there's actually more gaps in here. If you go back to the 2 hour, 1 hour chart, you do see like kind of a gap higher here, and then this created a bull flag, and then we gapped higher again. And so that gap higher overnight created we created a gap there. But if I really zoom in on this, just a little bit of TA for you guys, if you are trying to find support and resistance levels in the gap itself, it's such a huge gap window that we saw from this price all the way down to here before the actual crash came into play as far as the coronavirus. So really looking at this, if you zoom in here and you start to see this, it's the low of this huge green candle right here. We saw that price kind of had reactions in this area. In fact, this was a breakout zone, and then price traded above it. It came back found it as support just to kind of back test it. But also we saw the day over here. You saw some reactions on this bull flag kind of a day back here. And then if you go back in time, you see how this price level comes into play as far as it's a part of a lot of other gaps that we've had, this price zone. And I really want to say this whole area is a zone. Now, something to keep in mind is that looking back on this chart, something to keep in mind is the more, like today, for instance, today is really just a gap higher. This is the last couple day price action, but we've gapped higher and we're just really creating a bull flag scenario. And a little bit earlier in the day, I did a post on the 1 hour chart, noting that we do have a 1 hour reversal candle, and I wouldn't put a lot of weight in the candle necessarily. It is technically a reversal candle, and that's the third hour of the day, only because we had kind of a long wick and then we closed at the lows of the day. But obviously, well, technically speaking, that candle is, let's see if this one closed above it. So the high of that candle is 329.38. And then if you go over here, the closing price on this is 329.41. So technically that candle is now off the table. If you were short against that high, you should have been stopped out around that price area. So we'll see what the rest of the day plays out. I wouldn't be surprised again to see price pull back. We could even go fill this gap that's down here. We could even come as low as this, and keep this on mind. I've been saying this and I'll keep saying it to really drive home the point, is that as long as we stay above this trend line from the March and April lows, as long as we're above this trend line, it's a bullish market. And so we could honestly come back to this trend line. That'd be a great buying opportunity. If you had a stop loss just underneath that, that'd be a beautiful buying opportunity as far as swing trading. But I don't want to be a swing trader when the S&P 500 just gapped up. I'm not going to chase a gap. Yeah, tomorrow who knows? Tomorrow we could gap again. I mean, it's completely possible, but I don't want to chase this price. The risk reward is no longer there, so I'm not going to chase price. Be patient with the names that you guys are trading. I saw somebody was asking questions about Amazon earlier. And so just to look at Amazon really quick, we do have a triple top. It doesn't really necessarily mean a triple top in my opinion, until the neckline is broken. In fact, that could almost be a head and shoulders. But really, again, you have to wait for the neckline to be broken for it to be an actual pattern that plays out that would give you a target to the downside, if that makes sense. And Amazon has been on an absolute tear. Let it consolidate. And then eventually watch for a breakout. Or if you're bearish, watch for the breakdown. That same kind of scenario goes for Tesla. I'm just going to open up my watch list here. The same scenario goes for a lot of the names that we follow. We posted this weekend a watch out for, or it came up in, every Sunday we do a 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do our weekly outlook / Q&A for people, new traders who want to join us to learn technical analysis, or people who are really good at it. Maybe they can help answer questions for new people. But another thing to keep an eye on, and something that we did talk about this weekend, was was Boeing. And the reason why was we saw a huge rally in the transports. Friday afternoon we saw this incredible rally, and so one thing that we wanted to look at was Boeing. And we were kind of eyeing this 150, and this is something we talked about this weekend. 150. Actually, we've been talking about it since Thursday or Friday, possibly even ever since we broke down out of this pattern here. Even ever since we broke down out of this pattern, you saw last week there was I know it's hard to see on your guys' screen. My Thinkorswim is kind of glitching out. So ever since we broke down out of that wedge pattern, and then we back tested, and then earnings came out, we've been eyeing this price target of 150, 155. We'll see how the day plays out. If this ends up being a really bear or a really bullish day, it is possible to absolutely have continuation tomorrow. That's something to keep an eye on. The Qs. So looking at the NASDAQ, yeah, we are getting pretty extended here. And if I just did if I did a measurement, depending on where you wanted to measure the flag or the wedge or this bullish consolidation pattern, depending on where you measured it from, it is possible that the target has already played out. You could even draw in, I saw somebody mention something about a triple top. It is possible to have a triple top. Again, same thing with Amazon. Just remember, for the triple top to actually play out, it's not a triple top if it keeps doing this. So just keep an eye on that. If we do break down below, that is an area that would be awesome to short, especially if we get below this support down here around 237 price area. Another thing we wanted to look at was, and I'll wrap this up pretty quick here, looking at the futures. Again, bullish, right? Not really any reason to short this until you get a candle that looks like this, until you get a big reversal candle, and you have something to an area that you could put a stop loss. But if you're continuously trying to short this rally here, it's gonna be very painful before you end up being right. And you might be right today or tomorrow, but if you keep teaching yourself to do that, if you grow those habits of I'm going to just continuously short an uptrend because the prices are too high, it's mind blowing that we are up this high. But the fact is that we are up this high, and so we're out looking for reversal candles where we can find them. Another thing I wanted to look at was UUP dollar index. Today we had a pretty bearish day. Closing near the lows of the day or at the lows of the day. I am still looking for upside. I'm still holding a long position in UUP. So we'll see how tomorrow plays out. As long as we stay above 25.17, I'm looking for more upside in the dollar. And with that, we could look at GLD, and then I'll wrap it up. So even with GLD, it's we're at resistance right now. We're at resistance 185.85, and until we get above that resistance, we are looking for a little bit more consolidation. But today's price action alone made me feel like it is completely possible that we wake up to some sort of, rally in gold. I am looking for more upside in gold, but I just prefer more of a correction, whether that is sideways or whether it's a correction to the downside. I am looking for more of a correction in GLD before we can go ahead and be buyers again. As far as risk to reward, I am holding long term, and I'm not planning on selling those. And there's a lot of different areas around the market that we can make money. It doesn't have to be in specifically the S&P 500. If you guys want to check out our trading group, Ride the Bull, we have a lot of people posting a lot of really good setups in there. So there's a lot of good opportunity. And so, yeah, again, like this video if you gotten value out of this video. And hopefully we can see you guys Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we can answer some more questions for you. All right. Talk to you guys soon.